Hi, this is Tim of the 1916 Company. Welcome and thanks for logging on. If you love this watch, email me. I am still Team Mosso at thewatchbox.com. That is still my email. It is still in the description below. Your purchase and pricing email question line for buying this or any watch you see on any of our platforms, please reach out to me at tmosso at thewatchbox.com for pricing. It is hard to believe that the Blancpain 50 Fathoms Bathyscaphe, as you see it here, has been with us for a full 11 years. Reference 5000, a long-running, more vintage-inflected counterpart to the more modern 5015. This watch is mechanically identical to its larger sister, and for a lot of folks, this is going to be the choice for the 50 Fathoms purist. In stainless steel, 43 millimeters in diameter, 13.4 millimeters thick from lug tip to lug tip, 49.7 millimeters with a 23 millimeter spacing between the lugs. It is smaller and thinner than the 5015. For a lot of folks, that's going to be the deciding factor. On my wrist, which is 16 centimeters in circumference, this watch wears well. I've always felt that I'm borderline for the 5015, whereas this feels natural, and I would say this watch will wear well on a wrist of my size or larger, so let's say 16 centimeters circumference and up. Down the barrel one more time, over the top, which always exaggerates the width of the watch, and then the cuff shot. And the cuff shot's important because this watch is meaningfully thinner than the 5015 and it will fit better underneath a shirt sleeve or jacket cuff. We have a wonderful military olive green sailcloth strap. It's rubber insert on the bottom for souplesse against the skin, and then the coarse sailcloth textile on the top with a folded edge, a monotone stitch, and plenty of bolstering or stuffing to give it volume. We've got a Blancpain satin finished pin buckle with a little recess in the buckle for the pin. I adore those kind of details. Take a look. Even the pin itself has facets and beveling. That's really thoughtfully done. The case. This is where the Bathyscaphe expresses its vintage references most directly. We have a big crown, screw down, 300 meters, but no crown guards. We have very minimal beveling at the edge of the lugs and a squared off end profile, plus a narrow satin finished midcase. And notice everything here is satinated. There is no polish. It's a very muted, understated look. We have a ceramic insert for the bezel, which is highly scratch resistant. And then the bezel, 120 click. We have a luminescent bezel pearl. We have hybrid syringe baton hands right here. We'll do a lume shot now. And as you can see, it's easy to read the watch at night. All three hands loomed, including a seconds hand, which I consider important. A lot of dive watches don't have loomed seconds hands, so if you are using this as a primary or backup dive timer, you wouldn't actually know your watch is running. That's kind of important. And you can see the bezel pearl, easy to track against the minute hand. I've always found dive bezels are actually more practical in real life than a chronograph because they're easier to read. You rarely time anything over an hour with a chronograph anyway. Between 30 minutes and 60 minutes, most chronographs don't give you an easy way to track the time. And then it's just very, very easy to service these watches because they don't have the service premium downstream of a complication like a chronograph. Taking a look at the dial, anthracite, somewhere between gray and black, a metallic sunburst grain. We have polished applique indices, but in a different fashion than you'll find on the 5015. The watch does include two setting modes. One is hacking seconds, so you could set the watch against a known accurate reference time. Then we have a quick set system, so you could rapidly cycle the date. Screw the crown back down. Again, 300 meter water resistance. Same movement you'll find in a 5015. It's caliber 1315. It's the automatic version of the 13R0. We have 3 barrels here, 120 hours of power reserve, 6 position adjustment, free sprung for shock resistance, variable inertia balance, anti-magnetic silicone hairspring. These are excellent timekeepers that can easily stay within about plus 0.5 plus 1 second per day. 35 pivot jewels. You can see we've got an 18 karat blackened gold rotor. The finishing is quite attractive. And you can see that on the rotor itself, we have snailing outboard. We have a satinated channel that runs around. We have a media blasted interior, and then we have mirrored beveling. So we have 4 different finishes. You can also see that the beveling on the bridges is extraordinarily broad, rounded, and mirrored. We have solarization, which you will find on crown wheel and ratchet wheel. Satination on the other wheels. You can see that the screw heads are all black polished quite attractively. We have a snailing across the bridges rather than Côte de Genève, and I think this is a better look for a sports style watch. Note that all of the screw and jewel sinks are internally beveled and polished with a partridge eye treatment. These are both very accurate and very, very tough. Anti-magnetic, highly shock resistant, lots and lots to love. And again, we do have both a free sprung balance operating at 4 Hertz, so no cheating with the beat rate to try to extend power reserve. You still have a high rate and you have the 120 hours. And again, free sprung with the silicone hairspring right there. This is a fantastic watch. Reach out to Team Mosso at thewatchbox.com for purchase and pricing details.